Hi everyone, I'm Shauna and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the spring Sephora VIB sale and why you shouldn't or don't need to shop it. So in the first part of the video, I'm going to be talking about specifically why I'm not shopping the sale. And then in the second part of the video, I'm going to be talking about some more ideas and thoughts that apply to people who aren't just me. And I've noticed some trends and some things of, I think, concern that I want to talk about as well. In the past, the Sephora VIP sale has been one that I haven't missed. I haven't missed a single spring or winter sale for at least 4 years, and I think that it might be longer. The way that I've shopped these things has not been, okay, what are some things that I'm running out of? Or is there something that I've wanted for a really long time but haven't been able to afford or couldn't justify the price? I haven't looked at the sale with practicality. What has happened time and time again for 4 years is that I'll see stuff that I'm kind of interested in or something that's really hot or popular at the time and then use that to purchase those products, or I'll actively search through Sephora for things that I want. And I've purchased nail polish like this, perfume like this, eyeshadow palettes like this, especially skincare. So much skincare through this kind of way. And I end up spending hundreds of dollars. And the one in December is, or like November, December is usually the hardest one for me. And the last one in December 2019, I spent over $400, and I'm kind of at a loss for words. Like, that happened. Things were like, yes, I want this, I want this, I want this. It gave me such permission to overspend. And I've talked a lot about my reasons for my no buy in my intro video, so I will put that somewhere if you're interested. But I've never been able to say no or just buy one item. Never. Because as soon as it comes up, I'm looking at all the things I've been interested in. And so this year, I'm skipping the sale completely. And the first reason why is that I'm on a no buy. I'm on a strict replacements only no buy. I don't need anything new right now. I don't need any new skincare or, face washes or body creams or, face creams or eyeliners, mascaras, nothing. I don't need anything right now. So on that front, there's no reason for me to buy. But also, I have a gift card and I have a $25 gift card. I'm kind of thinking, well, should I spend it now? Like, even though I don't need a face wash, maybe I could buy something practical with this purchase and use the gift card and the savings to make a purchase. And I think in some sense that's pretty practical. And that's the most practical that I've ever looked at the sale with. Doesn't make any sense. That's the most practical outlook that I've had regarding the sale. My problem with that is tastes change and knowledge about skincare or preferences, they change as well. And I purchased some stuff from the Body Shop in November or December. And I purchased 2 face washes and at least one moisturizer for the face. No longer interested in basically any Body Shop skincare, and I'm not happy with any of the products that I've chosen because of the ingredients. I'm currently still working on 2 different face washes in tandem and a couple of different moisturizers that are open. And even after that, I still have 1 unopened face wash and multiple unopened moisturizers. So we're talking at least a minimum of 3 months before I'll need any new face kind of skincare product. 3 months. And where I was 3 months ago about skincare is different from now. So I don't want to assume my preferences or my knowledge for future Shauna, because future Shauna might get stuck with something that she doesn't want. I'd rather make that decision when the time comes, but I'm also really bad at estimating how long my products last. I thought that, what's it called? You know those products you put in your hair, like heat protectants. I thought my last heat protectant would be finished, I don't know, a year ago, but it's going so strong. So what if I don't need to buy something until the next sale? what if? And I'm not going to just use the sale as the impetus to buy something, but when I run out, then I'll look at making a purchase. I don't want to constrain myself to looking at the products of one retailer just because they're a sale. I want to look at all my options and pick, like the best one for me. And with the sale, I'm constrained to just those kinds of brands. But I also recently saw that Anastasia released a mini lip gloss kit, and I was like, this could be perfect. I was so into all the shades, and I think that with the discount, it would come pretty close to $25. I think it's like $32, something like that. I think it's in the low 30s. So it would come pretty close to $25. So I'd probably be spending between probably less than $10 of my own money on this kit. And that's what I thought I was gonna do. And this Anastasia lip gloss kit has kind of highlighted something for me. I haven't decided if I want my gift card to be for something practical or something like a treat. I was having a bit of a hard weekend, and that was a really good idea to buy it as a treat. If I didn't have my 7-day rule, I would have pulled the trigger and then probably regretted it because I don't want to make that purchase today. And that purchase of lip glosses feels so wasteful because I still have so many, and we're near the end of April and I'm only just now finishing the lip gloss that I was panning, and I have several others, and we're talking a year's worth of lip gloss. I don't want 4 new glosses in my collection. I just don't want that right now. Maybe in 2 years when I'm gone to the bottom of my stack, then sure. But that's 2 years down the line. I'm so proud that like I'm being more critical of these purchases. And Shauna, a year ago, 6 months ago, 4 months ago, probably would have used that gift card if the sale had happened for a treat. I don't need a treat because my collection is so big. The bottom line here is that I've decided to skip the sale, and I thought that it would be much harder to make that decision, or that I would want to participate so bad, because that's kind of how I've always felt in the past. But that decision was so easy. It was like a no-brainer. I didn't really feel the need to participate or that longing of all these things I can't buy because I'm not participating or I'm on a no buy. And so I feel so joyful that skipping the sale was like, yep, that's it. And that was that. And I'm like really proud of how far I've come in 4 months. And maybe for some of you, you're like, like I have no problem doing that. This has been a huge problem and one of the major ways I overspend each year. For me, it's not a tiny win. It's a pretty big win, and I'm happy about that. So if you're somebody who is thinking about shopping the sale, or you're on the fence about it, or you just want to hear some new perspectives, this section is for you. I think a lot of us use the sale to shop in many of the ways that I have in the past. You don't think about it. It's just sale time and you make your purchase. Or maybe you have no more eyeliners and you need your one, but then that one ends up adding up. And so then you're not just buying the one eyeliner, you're buying the new eyeshadow that you've been looking at, new lip gloss, a new hair mask, whatever it is. What I've noticed is that it's really hard to just buy that one thing. And in the past, that's been me too. Thinking I'm only going to get one thing because I only need an eyeliner, and then all hell breaks loose. That was what happened. I think it was in December when I needed a new like waterline, like pink or flesh toned liner, for that awake effect. And I was going to get it from Marc Jacobs, and that sparked this whole thing. So for me, not participating altogether is way easier than just buying one thing. So maybe for you, if you've been struggling, just not get the one thing you were thinking about and just walk away. And the next thing I want to talk about is the place of the sale in the beauty community. I've been thinking a lot about this, and it's a bit alarming actually, because the sale happens every year. It's become an annual event. And the way that some families have barbecues or homecoming, you come to rely on it, and it's become a staple an annual thing in the beauty space. I never really saw it as a problem until this year, because the sale has become honestly like a foundation of this beauty space, and it's a way that really like brings everybody together and like hypes everybody up. People get so excited about the sale, and with that comes assumed participation, that everybody is just going to participate, everybody's going to buy stuff from the sale. And that's often what, YouTubers, have the mentality of. It's like, duh, it's a given, I'm going to participate, so like, why not spread the message? Like, it's sale time and that's it. And it's assumed participation of the community. But sometimes in these recommendation videos, I hear a lot of folks say something like, I'm giving you recommendations in case you need something or in case you're looking to buy something. Even language like that is promotion for the sale. And it also goes back into that community and in that like whole community rallying around this sale. You still are participating in the sale and in the fervor, even if you are not saying you must go out and buy this. Even if you're just giving me your favorite products, it's still participation, and it's still like feeding the frenzy and feeding the fire, if you will. And I feel as though like building a community around a sale or bringing a community together because of a sale, to me, is a bit sad. I don't want my community to be about a sale. I want my community to be about more than that. I don't want this to be the thing that brings us together. And this assumed participation gets everybody so happy and so jovial. And the assumed participation about that is really problematic, because I think people are participating without even thinking about why they are or if they actually need something. So there's a lot of wanting to want stuff or looking to buy stuff because it's the sale, because all these folks in your news feeds are giving you videos about their recommendations or their hauls, and many channels have huge hauls. Even like mid to smaller size YouTube channels that I watched or have watched in the past, where they don't do a ton of spending throughout the year, will spend hundreds of dollars on this sale. And so I'm just wondering, are you thinking about why you're participating, or is it just assumed that because it's a sale, it's a given that I'm going to participate as well? For those who aren't participating, or for those who aren't financially able to participate, there's some alienation going on, I think. That because everybody's participating in the sale, my news feed is covered in Sephora recommendations and hauls and like try-ons of new products that people had purchased. If I wasn't on a no-buy, I think I might feel a little alienated too when there's all this kind of content and you're not participating. And so there's a lot of buying for the sake of buying, or buying because of a tradition, because it's something you've always done or something the community has always done. And so when we're buying for the sake of buying for tradition, buying for community, we look at stuff to buy, and it gives us permission to buy, not just because something's on sale, but because it's the tradition and it's the community. And it gives, I don't want to say an excuse, but it's like, yes, okay, I'm allowed to buy this and I'm allowed to spend a few extra dollars because it's a sale time, because it only comes around twice a year. And the best sale prices are only for the VIB Rouge. And I feel as though a lot of the YouTubers who are making these videos are Rouge, and I think that there's more YouTubers who are Rouge than their audience members. I'm not trying to kid myself and say nobody who watches YouTube is a Rouge. Certainly the case, and there's probably a lot of you out there. I'm still Rouge from last year. And the thing is like there's the 3 tiers. I made the second tier with one purchase. I mean, I was at 0 and went from 0 to that second, is it Insider? I can't remember what it's called. But that second tier, I made that entire tier in one purchase. So I know there's a lot of us out there. But the sale is not even that great unless you're a Rouge. Like 10 or 15% off is small. And a lot of these companies will have sales on their own websites, which I think is really, so we end up overspending. And I know I've heard this, but it really hit home to me the other day when I was thinking about it. Because unless you are truly in need of something, you're run out of something, anything you buy is something you would not have bought if it was on sale. So the fact that you're getting $8 or $10 off is irrelevant because you're still spending $50, $100 that you would not have spent, that you did not plan to spend. And that's not a sale. Like that's really, it's not a sale when we use it as an excuse to spend. You know, it's a bit crazy that we kind of get into that mentality. And, you know, buying the most expensive skincare on the sale, you maybe never would have purchased it at all. And I think a potentially dangerous outcome for behavior like that is buying a really expensive skincare item or really expensive foundation, falling in love with it. And then what do you do then? Is it just a one-time thing? If it is, that feels almost like, to me, if that were me, it would feel like a waste of money to buy this thing I can't afford to purchase again, or you purchase this really expensive thing again and again, and now you're hooked on something very expensive. And I think the bottom line with my like community element is that it's the act of purchasing that makes a lot of us happy. It's that act of purchasing, of pulling the trigger, putting the credit card number in, pressing send or order, that makes us happy. That's the thing that makes us part of the community. That's the thing that we just ultimately want to do so we can say, we shop the Sephora sale or I shop the Sephora sale. And it's not actually the product itself that is relevant. And think about that for a second. The act of buying is more important than the product itself for many of us. And what makes us happy and what makes us part of a community, and not necessarily what you actually purchase. And so the last thing I want to talk about is sustainability in our collections. A lot of us are thinking about how to be a better consumer and how to be a better, smarter shopper. And that means, for me, buying less, buying better, and holding on to things for longer periods of time. Buying fewer things and using what you have to its completion are where I think fit into the sale. So if you're buying to be part of a community or you're buying because of a sale kind of triggered you to say, okay, let's make a purchase. I don't think the sale lends itself to making the smartest purchases. Buying something that you know you'll have for 5 years or something that you know you'll use up until completion. And I know that the way that a lot of people look at highlighters, for example, is that like people don't expect to finish a highlighter. So you're buying a highlighter to use it for some period of time, and then after 1, 2, 3 years, when you're only a quarter or halfway through, like I got my money's worth. Or you expect to declutter it before you ever hit pan. And those kinds of purchases, I think, happen in the sale or are reinforced by the sale. You buy the thing that's trendy or the thing that like you're really lusting after over the thing that's perhaps the most practical. And I don't mean practical in that like you're buying a face wash. I mean practical as in, if you're gonna buy a palette, are you going to buy the trendy one or are you going to buy the one that you can see yourself using for 5 years? The one that has like whatever color that, or whatever color scheme that is desirable, or like your neutral or everyday kind of eye or palette. Which one are you going to buy during this time? And I think for a lot of people, it's going to be that fun, trendy palette. And there's no shortage of those out there. And when we're also looking like to want things and we're just picking stuff because we want them, we haven't thought through any of these things maybe we should, such as, will I use this? Could I see myself using this up? Could I see myself wearing this every day for a week? Could I see myself using this for the next 3 years? I don't mean to imply that you should only wear one eyeshadow palette every day for the next 2 years until you finish it up. But I think that some of that critical thinking that we might use otherwise when we're paying full price, when we're thinking, okay, and we're trying to justify those purchases, and makeup at Sephora is expensive. So when we're trying to think to ourselves, is this palette worth the money? Is this eyeshadow worth the money? Is this foundation worth the money? We have some critical thought processes that happen in those moments to say, is it worth our money? And I think that doesn't happen as much, if at all, during the sale, because something is on sale. And then we buy stuff that we don't actually want and that we'll never use or never finish, and then they become those things that we declutter. Not only are we wasting our own money, but we're participating in this overconsumption and this buying stuff to just own it and house it for a few years and then put it somewhere else. And I know that I don't want to be that kind of consumer. And if you don't want to be that kind of consumer either, then if you are going to make a purchase during the sale, make sure that those critical thinking questions are still being applied to your purchases. I think that if it's hard for you to say no to that one thing, don't engage. But even that is way harder when all of our feeds are filled up with those hauls and those recommendations. And it can be so tempting when there's so many videos. Bottom line, I hope that this video gave you something to think about regarding the sale, and think about if you want to participate, and if you do, what that's gonna look like for you. I hope you enjoyed this video and hanging out for me for a while and this new little background. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again around here soon. Bye.